Hey video friends, where would you start if you were building a wardrobe from scratch? Let's talk about that today. Thanks so much for sticking with me. I am Liz Kleva from Closet Play Image, where we are all about bright ideas for your style and your wardrobe. And to be perfectly honest, wardrobe planning is my jam. Like, I love it. But I don't start from scratch. I've never started a wardrobe from scratch myself. I've never had to, evacuate and leave everything I own behind. So most of us aren't starting from scratch. But if you were, where would you start? And it's actually kind of the same place I start. Ooh, excuse me, I did not mean to jostle the camera. It's the same place I start when I'm helping a client rebuild a wardrobe. So let's talk. And it really all starts with color. That simple. It starts with color. There's three things I look at when I'm thinking about what colors that wardrobe should be based on. Because after we deal with color, then we're going to deal with lifestyle and what kinds of pieces she needs or he needs because the life he's living. But for me, it always starts with color. And so is that person's coloring lighter or deeper? If you look at me, you can tell my coloring is pretty light. My hair and my skin are both quite fair. My coloring used to be much darker when my hair was still, dark brown. Yeah. Then I would have chosen darker colors for my wardrobe. Now I choose lighter colors for my wardrobe because I want to create a face focus rather than a body focus. And I will link an article about that down below. I don't think I've done a video on it. If I have, I'll link it here, but otherwise I'll just link the article down below about face focus versus body focus. So the first thing I look at is how light or deep your coloring is. And then I look for warmth and coolness because I want to know whether we want to choose warm undertones for you or cool undertones for you. Okay, so that's another piece. So am I going to want a bit, if I'm choosing neutrals, am I going to want olives or am I going to want blues? Am I going to want creams? Am I going to want more whites or more ivory whites, right? So I need to know what undertone your coloring has. So I'm looking at lightness and darkness, I'm looking at your undertone. And then last but certainly not least, I'm looking at two pieces, value contrast and color contrast, and I will link posts about those below as well. I'm looking at what is your natural coloring? How many colors are there to your natural coloring? Is your coloring very colorful? Do you have red eyes and red hair and blue eyes? Excuse me, red eyes. Oh, terrible. Sorry. Do you have red hair and blue eyes? Do you have brown hair and gray eyes? Is your coloring more neutral? Is your coloring more colored? Because when you have color already in your coloring, maybe you have really ruddy, maybe you have very pink cheeks, maybe you have bright green eyes, maybe you have flaming red hair, or maybe you've colored your hair mermaid color, right? When we have colorful personal coloring, we need to wear color to enhance that because if we are all neutrals, we're going to look washed out. So I look at that, and then I look at what we call your value contrast. We look at your color contrast, which is all the colors you have in you, and we look at your value contrast, which is what's the lightest and deepest coloring on you. Do you have coloring like Snow White? Do you have really dark hair and really fair skin? Then you're going to look better in higher value contrast outfits. Or are you more like Cinderella, who has lighter hair and lighter skin and a lower value contrast? Or do you have deep hair and deep skin, lower value contrast? Do you have a high value contrast? Do you have white or blonde hair and really, really deep colored complexion? So we want to reflect that value contrast in the way you dress as well. So for me, my eyes are relatively dark, even though all the rest of me is light. So if I need to wear little punctuations of dark in my outfit. But if I wear dark all over, it creates a body focus, which I do not necessarily want. And if I wear, for example, all dark on the top, then it drags me down and weighs me down. My eyes are colored. I have green eyes. And so what happens if I don't wear some color, if I wear all neutrals and I don't pop it up with at least a little bit of color somewhere, it tends to just wash me out. I end up putting on way more makeup to compensate. So we can use our wardrobe to do a lot of the heavy lifting and help us look our happiest and our healthiest. So when I plan a wardrobe with a client, that's where I start. I start with those pieces. And like I said, I will link some articles below to help you kind of head you in that direction. I love to do that with clients. And so if we're working, for example, rebuilding a wardrobe for a client, I'm not throwing everything out, right? But we're going to start by selecting those pieces that already work for their value, for their undertone, and for their contrast. And we're going to pull those pieces together and then select strategic pieces that help pull all that together for them. And maybe we'll say goodbye to some of those pieces that aren't working for them, unless they're pieces they absolutely love and adore. And then we'll go, okay, how can we make these work best for you? For example, I love orange. Love orange. Orange does not love me back. It is too vibrant for my coloring. It is completely the wrong undertone because my undertone is super cool and there is no real cool orange out there. I guess maybe like an orange sherbet color that has a lot of white added would be cooler, but still not. So what do? Well, that's where I'm not going to wear it near my face for sure. I'm going to, I have an orange wallet that makes me super happy. I might buy a little orange bag to wear that and get my little splash of orange in my wardrobe, right? So we want to keep those colors that are not our best, especially away from our face. So, and we can always, there's ways to finesse that and make it work for you. But yeah, so I just thought I'd throw that out there today. It's just something to think about if you're in a rebuilding or a place where you're ready to release some things out into the wild, or maybe you're in a season of rebuilding. Those are some things to think about. For me, it always starts with color, and then we'll talk about what you actually need for your lifestyle and your personality. So yeah, but there we go. Just wanted to share that with you today. And stay safe and sound, sane and stylish. If you would like to get more hints and more education about building wardrobes, about colors, about capsule wardrobing, about style trends, about color, about all kinds of goodness that has to do with your wardrobe and showing up in the world, pop on over to the blog. That's closetplay.biz, closetplay.biz. Biz rhymes with Liz. I'm Liz Kleba. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me today, because your time is precious and any of it you spend with me is a gift. Do me a favor. This is social media. You know how it works. Like, subscribe, make the algorithm happy, and then you won't miss any more videos. See you again next week. Bye.